You are now tuned in to
Lamark After Dark.
What's up, guys? Lamark After Dark, Season 3, episode, we don't know, but it's fine. We're having a good time.
I think this is 13.
You know what? I don't know, because I've been fucking with it with editing, because remember, episode whatever just came out, and that was not the episode. Like we said, it was episode 3.
That's true. We have been mixing it
we're just
up.
fucking it up. But it is what it is.
Yeah, we're here. All right.
We have a special guest in the building. Peter, welcome to Lamark After Dark.
What's going on? I am such a big fan of the show, so it's an absolute honor
Peter,
to be
I'm a
amongst
fan.
my fellow Black creators.
Yes. And then fun fact, all of us were co-workers.
At one point or another, yes.
You gonna say the job? No.
We
no.
did.
No.
I ain't gonna do it today.
Okay. And special guests, we have Noah in the building, so shout out to Noah. He's
Shout out to
helping out with the show.
Noah.
We don't have him on camera, but shout out to Noah in the background. Yeah, so this episode, first let's dive into Peter and My Little Underground and your background and where you're from.
So I'm from Long Island, but I was born in Queens at Jamaica Hospital, actually.
Shout out to Queens.
Spent time in Rosedale and spent 20 years in Valley Stream on Long Island. So I'm from Long Island.
Okay.
But, what else? So, you want me to tell my whole history?
No. You can dive right into like
all
radio.
Right, I'll just dive right into
radio.
just radio and stuff like that. So, I grew up listening to radio, all kinds of formats. My dad would have everything from hip hop formats, the dance stuff, the news stuff, and the classic rock stuff. I'm like, okay, this is great. But as far as me taking it on as a medium that I can jump into, I just grew up loving music, right? So I thought, I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about it. I thought radio and then eventually podcasting would be the perfect medium for that. So when I got to college radio, I'm like, this is the perfect outlet for me. So, getting into, WKRB at Kingsborough where I met Lamark. It's funny, 10 years ago, I saw you really trying to hone your craft with the Fresh movement. So that was really cool. But for me, I thought that, doing, I did Alternative Avenue at Kingsborough about 2 years, and then at Westbury for another 2 years. I just thought, let me just talk to, a bunch of artists in the local area, because I was listening to what everybody else was doing at Kingsborough. I'm like, okay, let me pivot, do something else. And I learned a lot about, Black people's history in certain music that's not hip hop, which I thought was great. But what I really kind of had a light bulb moment was when I started talking and interviewing people. Yeah. At the same time, I'm listening to podcasts and radio interviews too. And I'm thinking, this is where I feel more comfortable. And this is where I want to explore. So then I started My Little Underground. So I started interviewing musicians at first. And then more people like Lamark and myself, other content creators, and our good friend Malcolm.
Shout out to Malcolm.
I've been on this stuff too.
So I feel like you had really good people, and then you just brought in messy people.
Yeah. So now
shout out to me and Malcolm.
I just love conversating with creatives, mostly musicians, because I'm a huge music lover. But just recently I put out an episode with my brothers talking about video games. And it's primarily a music show, and I kind of walk a fine line not to dive into two different niches, because I also have a wrestling podcast with my brother called The Wrestling Caucus. So I don't want to talk about two different niches really, but with video games, I kind of walk a fine line because I love video games, my brothers love video games, and they're both musicians too. So it's it's conversations with creatives,
right?
But we don't know exactly
it's still
what
creative,
we're
Exactly. And then video games is still an art at the end of the day. So
100%.
What inspires you to keep going?
That's a great question. I have a different answer every day.
Yeah, I understand.
But I think, especially with podcasting, I feel I don't know if you two can say the same thing, but I feel like it's my medium, and it's the one thing that I can creatively express myself with. And it's not tied to any kind of, we all work for a living. So this is the one thing that's all of that doesn't exist.
Right.
It's just me just talking about the things that I love and maybe being an outlet for, musicians and creatives, because there's an artist, she's based in New York. Her name is Oceanator. And, she has a band, pretty, buzzing act, and she has a little imprint called, I forgot the name of it.
It's okay.
But anyway,
it's okay.
It's not important.
Yeah.
But what's important to the story is that she emailed me saying, hey, maybe this artist would be good for your show. And that made me realize that, okay, this thing is doing what I intended it to do, to be a platform for creatives.
Right.
And to be an outlet for discovery, not like, okay, I'm an A&R type of thing. No. It's like, if you want to know about music or get insight on certain things, this is the place for you. You want to discover something new? Here is a human, not an algorithm, telling you, or not telling you, showing you, here's what's over here. Come hang out here. There's stuff for you here. Yeah. Especially for, people like us, especially Black and, people of color, especially for you.
But you also know what you're doing. You also went to school for this. You also learned the craft. Like, you also understand exactly how it goes. So I feel like even the dialogue just now, it's just, you can tell who gets it and who doesn't. And man, it's been
Blasted Miracles. That's the name of the
shout out to them.
Yeah. I know, that's right.
Hey, guys.
This show. But like, I want to dive into, I guess, because there's a lot of people that are doing podcasts right now and shows, and it's
saturated.
It's very saturated. That's how do you feel about that?
It's true. It's very saturated, especially in the world of pro wrestling podcasts too. It's very oversaturated. But here's the thing: what is podcasting really? It's a niche medium, right? So people go out of their way to find you and to subscribe to you. So they want to hear about a specific thing. If you're a lover of music, you're gonna find your music podcast. Even that, like, I'm listening to 2 different music-centric podcasts now, Drink Champs, and What Had Happened Was, hosted by 2 rappers, Nori and Open Mike Eagle, but they're 2 completely different shows. But you just have to come at it in a unique way. If we're just talking about music, maybe talk to an artist that no one else is going to really talk to. Because, when bigger artists do their interview rounds, they're talking to major platforms and having the same or similar conversations, right? So how do you really stand out? Just find your niche. Talk to someone, whoever it is. It could be a musician. It can be, it could be a pornographic actress. Who knows? Or actor. It doesn't matter what it is. Find who your niche and talk to people that maybe other people don't care to talk to. It makes you stand out, in my opinion.
That's what we try to do here, but it goes a little. It goes a little.
What would you say were some of your best moments, though, so far, like on your journey?
It's a great question. I think, and I've been thinking about this interview a lot. So, I'm a huge music fan, especially, hip hop too. There's an artist, Homeboy Sandman, and, he's kind of like, bubbling on the underground music scene. And his people reached out to me to do an interview. And I thought that was like, whoa, that's crazy. And I thought the interview was great. I'm like, oh, wow. So somebody I really admire and listen to, that I actually have questions to ask them.
Right.
That's crazy. So like everything that I'm doing, it serves a purpose. So, I hope I answered your question, Chelsea. But yeah, like I think that was a very important moment. Also, there's a band based out of New York, A Place to Bury Strangers, and they're another band. They have their own, they built a community and they have a buzz, and they go on major tours and all around the world. And every time I ask them to come on the show to talk about something, their manager is like, absolutely, of course, because I built a rapport with them, and they're kind of like, okay, this guy is doing his own thing, and he's all about supporting artistry and what have you. So I think that's great that people will come to me. And this particular band has a good following, and I've reached out to artists that don't have as big of a following, and they give you the runaround. They think they are superstars because they have some sort of indie sensation tied to them. They think they are bigger than everybody.
It's like, get your ass up and
Get your
work.
And
fucking
it's
ass
like,
up and
whoa,
work.
like, and I don't say this. I don't say it because it doesn't matter to me, but it's like, there are people that have bigger followings that have come on this show that don't have that ego or
And that's
anything
why
like
they're
that.
here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So none of that stuff matters to me. I care about your artistry. I want to elevate your artistry. I've had artists that, that are of color too, that have stood me up, that we've set up an interview and they've disappeared. And it's like, that hurts. That really hurts when that happens, when it's your own people. That really, that,
And it be your own people.
Be your own people. That really messes
It's really
me up.
unfortunate.
Because I really try my
take a
best to
sip.
like, come here. I have a place for you. Come hang out with me.
Right.
So, yeah. I hope I answered your question. I got a
No,
little
I love
long-winded
it.
there.
You're so passionate. It's great. Peter, what's
Yeah.
your sign? I got to find out.
Virgo.
Oh, this makes sense. I love a Virgo. I like Virgo men mostly.
Oh, thank you.
But shout out to Beyonce
Yeah, shout out to Beyonce.
Oh, yeah. September 4th.
and my grandma. Even though she be trying it sometimes. Virgos, sometimes they be doing a lot. Everything's very meticulous. Can you relate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But I like you guys.
But sometimes I'm a go with the flow kind of person too. But also like I like to plan things out too. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Giving.
So before we get like more into your business,
Sure.
I kind of wanted to do, because you're a radio and podcaster in a sense. 'Cause
Yeah.
You grew up on radio and then now you're in podcasting.
Yep.
What I feel like if you could pick like your dream situation, would it be in podcast or would it be in radio?
as far as like doing it for a living or just for fun?
Both.
Both. It's a good question because I think just a dream scenario, because I think about this all the time. If I were to do radio, it has to be, because the FCC is something, right?
Something.
So you have to work within their parameters, and a lot of the music I like, I have to edit down, and it's just terrible. It's really exhausting. So if I were ever to do if I had an opportunity to do radio at a major scale over the air as a talent, I got to have that freedom. Podcasting, you have that freedom. But as far as making money, it's a bigger challenge because the good thing, the blessing and the curse of podcasters that get a bunch of ad revenue and stuff like that is they have control about what they want to endorse. But there's also what if you don't want to endorse a product?
Right.
What if you don't care? You have that power, but it's then there's money, and then you have to have a certain engagement to, give a certain advertiser a return on their investment. So there's that. But, ideal scenario, you can have a radio show, right? And then you can turn it into a time shifted podcast type of thing. You could do both. You can, do one radio thing and have a podcast separately, but it's challenging because again, with radio is a lot of gatekeeping and both at the federal level, both people within the industry. So you have to maneuver all that stuff. So
I feel like I'm
don't
filtering
know.
myself a lot during
You know,
this
you
interview.
shouldn't. I don't know
No,
why.
I just feel like because I'm no longer in this, but this industry, there's so much dirt. It's just ridiculous.
Honey, you're in it.
I was an on-air talent too.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at JVC Broadcasting on Long Island, and that it was fun. But the thing is, if you're in radio, what's really challenging is you kind of have to be an influencer already, right? You could be a great broadcaster, but you have to be able to, sell tickets to shows or really be an endorser for an advertiser and bring in that attention and that engagement and that ratings.
Right.
You have to be a draw too.
It's
So
like
that's a
showing your ass
challenge.
without showing your ass.
Yeah, and also a station can flip format.
Yeah.
And you're gone.
Yep.
But then there's also serious, but I don't really you know what I mean? There's that kind of thing. So because you have no FCC, so that would be a good thing, but it's challenging. But my brain always goes towards my podcast because of the freedom that you have.
Yeah.
And the control that you have.
It's so crazy because I didn't even want to do a podcast. I really liked radio more because the music. The music connected to me as
Same. I had that
it
trouble
was
too.
able to kind of do the segments and then kind of have the music to kind of fall back
Pull it
on.
up.
The podcast is fuck, I have to talk and just sit here. And I
Yeah.
don't think people give a fuck. But then I was like, fuck it, I guess people do give a fuck. So
yeah.
now we're here.
Yeah, and then I'm here because you asked me to be here. Because I used to be podcast. I'm good. It's too saturated.
It's a lot.
I don't enjoy doing things that everybody has their hands in. But
Right.
This is actually really fun. It's a great experience. We've done so much. I'm proud of what we've done.
Yeah.
So am
And I
I.
feel
I'm
like-
very proud of what you guys have done.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
You guys are doing.
Proud of
Likewise.
you too.
Thank
No,
you.
seriously.
Thank you.
And
Nice.
you were before Lamark After Dark. Like you
Mhm.
and and then Lamark had the Fresh movement first and then transitioned into Lamark After Dark. So there's just so many different transitions you guys have had. I'm proud of both of you.
Oh, thank you,
Because
Chelsea.
you've done it and you've stuck with it.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice.
And it's challenging
it
to stick with
is.
it. It's really
It
challenging.
Oh my
is.
god!
Oh my
It's
God.
hell. It's hell.
Let me
I'm
tell you-
going to career date. I don't know what to tell those kids.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And like, I sometimes like there was a period of time I was so burnt out.
Mhm.
I was doing an interview once, and I was like mentally gone. And I knew then I'm like, I'm not doing anything for a few months because
Yeah.
I'm burnt out.
Sometimes you just have to take that step back.
Yep.
It can just be so consuming, especially when because like you said, we all have jobs. Like we have to have day-to-day jobs.
Yeah.
So outside of that, it could just be exhausting balancing all of it. It's truly. So I get it. And I'm proud of both of you.
Thank you.
I gotta work on not mixing things. 'Cause I feel like I mix the job. I guess it's so many different things in one for me that I gotta figure that shit out. But that's a whole nother episode. All right, so we're here to talk about interracial relationships.
Ooh,
Mhm.
I feel like this is a
It's a good
really good topic.
let's get juicy.
Peter, you're
Yeah.
in an interracial relationship.
Yes.
I feel like you have good knowledge to talk about, and Chelsea has opinions, and I have opinions as well. So I'm like, this is a great segue into question of the night,
Yeah.
which is: do interracial relationships help or harm other cultures?
You want me to go first? You want to go first, Chelsea?
Go ahead. All
Okay.
right, guys. I want to be able to.
Sure. It's a very nuanced thing. So
Mhm.
I think when you're a black person dating someone who's white or out of your race, there's certain things you have to always know who you are and know where you come from. And the person that you're with has to also understand that. And they also have to understand that the world is different for you. You know, I give you a good example. So I'm a wrestling fan, right? So there's one wrestler, his name is Cody Rhodes.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah, so his wife is Brandy Rhodes, and she is a black woman.
Mhm.
And he did an interview once, and he said, I went to my wife one time and I said, I don't see color. She said, no. If you don't see color, you don't see my experience. To me, that is the example.
Mhm.
That is the standard of interracial relationships. You have to see that person.
Right.
You have to see them. You have to understand them, where they come from. If they don't understand that, then it's going to be big problems. It's going to be huge problems.
But do you think it's helping or harming other cultures, or do you feel like it is?
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's harmful. It's only harmful if the people involved. It's all about who's involved, right?
Mhm.
So if you're a black person and the white person saying certain things that may be offensive to your culture and may dehumanize you
Yeah.
as a black person, and the black person is complicit in that, that's where you have big problems. That's when you have a lot of problems. And there are people that exist that are like that. Let me give you a good example. I've heard you guys probably heard things like a black man is dating a white woman, and the black man has all these things to say about black women, saying black women are this, black women are that, black women. It's like, why are
That's
you
my problem.
why are you dehumanizing black women just because you're with a white
That's
woman?
my problem.
That makes no sense to me.
That's
why do you have to why do you have to put somebody
Mhm.
down just because you're dating someone that's not like, why? Why are we that is white supremacy working. That is white supremacy at its just on fire.
Yeah, I do
and I
better.
hate that. Yeah.
And Peter, I mean, you bring me to my next point.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly why, respectfully, but not respectfully, I say respectfully to you
Yeah.
as a black man.
Yeah.
But it does rattle my bones a little more when I see a black man with a white woman than if I see a black woman with a white man. Because it's two different plights. It's two different journeys. It's two different plights.
Please
And
explain.
oftentimes, those black men, not in all cases, but in quite a few cases, those are black men that are not only self-hating, but they have a hatred, like you mentioned, towards black women. So I've experienced that. So for me, like, I feel like my trauma comes a little bit from that. It's not that I have a problem with interracial relationships. I don't. I really believe love is love. Things are beautiful. Like, do your thing. You cannot help who you love at the end of the day. But if you're with someone of a different race for status, or, I don't know, you feel like you're trying to do what the ancestors couldn't do. I don't know, but I'm not into that. I don't like that. You don't have to bring me down just because you're with a woman from a different culture, or make women from other cultures feel like they are more status or importance of your own people and where you come from. Because she's exotic, she's this, she's that, or whatever, but like, you're black. So your mama black, your grandmama black, your daddy black. You done came out some black pussy. I don't understand.
That's right.
What, you know. So that's where I come from with it, and yeah.
And I come from a mixed background. You know, my dad's Puerto Rican, my mom's black, right? So, and the thing is, I grew up, and a lot of people, you know, within my family, my extended family, they date outside the race too. So, all I knew growing up was diversity. That's all I knew growing up. But the one thing that, you know, society with black people, it's like you have this feeling of being less than. So over the years, I've had to get that confidence of who I am and how much, you know, it's really funny. Like, white people really want to be us, right? They want to be us. They want our everything that we have, except they don't understand what it's like to be.
Everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga. All right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a nigga. I just saw this video. I don't know where he was, Thailand or something. This man sat there for hours getting fake dreads, not even knowing the meaning behind like why, you know, people of color started to get dreads, and like coming from the African and Jamaican roots and stuff. It just really pisses me off, because it's like, you're just doing it because you think it looks nice, but there's so much behind it. I'm just tired of us not having any ownership of the things that we create. Yeah. I'm sick of it. I want to own everything, and it's just like, how do we?
Let me just tell white people, to all white people, if you're gonna date a black person or a person of color, one, you can't just say, well, I didn't vote for Trump, or I vote Democratic. You can't just say that. You can't just say that. There's a lot more. Like, you know, people on both parties have a lot of racism in them. So it's a constant. You have to educate yourself, and you always have to just shut the fuck up and listen. That goes the same with men and women too, because, you know, black men dating black women. Some people are like, well, you know, within that relationship, it's like black love. That's great, but it's like, if you're abusive and, you know what I mean, like, misogyny is still there,
right?
You know what I mean? It's all a tree of white supremacy, right? So if you're a black man dating a black woman, and you have to, you know, take care of each other, and you can't just, you know, exhibit toxic behavior just because, oh, we're black love, black excellence. No, you still have to work. At the end of the day, it's still a relationship, and you have to treat your black woman like the way she's supposed to be treated.
Right.
But if you're in an interracial relationship, don't denigrate your culture, please. Like, don't do that to yourself. You know, you're still a black person at the end of the day, no matter if you're dating a white person. So you have to have an understanding of each other. You know what I mean? And for the white person in the relationship, just listen to them. Listen to them and take in what they're listening. If they're listening to someone, if you love rock music and you grew up with Led Zeppelin, or Black Sabbath, and homie, your man or your woman's listening to Living Color, and they're listening to Bad Brains, and you never heard of them, listen to them. Like, oh, let me take in some of that culture. You know what I mean? Understand them. Just, you know, it's very small, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not going to work at the end of the day if you're not able to learn about each other and grow with each other. It's just, you're two separate people just trying to, I don't know, maybe make it look cute, but
I just hate the backlash from both races. I know that one of my brother dated someone who was a different race. I feel like the black community, they would give nasty looks when he would just walk down the street, and that's pretty shitty. Because, like, I get whatever your experience is, but just to give a nasty look to somebody you just don't know out of nowhere is fucked up. And then on the opposite side, on like if we'll go areas where she's from, like they'll give the same nasty looks. I feel like, this is maybe a lot to say, but I feel like black people, we will accept certain things. We'll give a look, we'll give attitude, but we'll like accept it, but just with tude. But I feel like with certain white areas, like they're not going to accept it to the extent that they're going to be like, you have to go. Like they're going to make you feel uncomfortable or like call the manager. Does that make sense? Like, stop. I didn't make this to be funny. I'm just saying from my experiences, what I've seen. Like, you know, but I don't know.
You know what's really funny? Like, black people are not a monolith or anything like that, but like there's some people that are policing black people's love, especially black
Yes.
men and black women. They're who they love.
Dr. Umar.
Yeah, like why do you
He's
care?
a piece of shit, and he should
Why
really
do
take care of his kids. Where's my camera? He should take care of his fucking kids.
Why are
and
you
stop
caring so much
preaching
about
shit.
who this person is loving? Like,
I'm not
you know
gonna
what I
lie.
mean?
There's a couple
Yeah.
things that he says. Like, I agree with the theory behind it. I do want us to come together more to create more black people, because eventually we're not gonna have no more actual brown people. Like, there are going to be, everyone's going to be mixed up. Like, it's going to be rare you see a skin color like mine or like Noah's. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that it's important to preserve that, but at the same time, to tell somebody it's wrong to love who they love. Like, you have some really pure relationships out here. Like, I've met, for example, oh my God, my best friend, and I'll call him my bestie-in-law, basically, because they get married, period. He's white, and he's like one of the most amazing people ever. So it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like take people for people, educate yourself, know what the choices you're making. If you're with someone who's different from you, really, like Peter said, really take the time to learn that person, their culture, who they are, what they're about, and make sure that you are fucking respectful, because there could be so many things that you don't realize can be disrespectful in those kind of relationships.
It could be a small thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're watching a stand-up comedian, who's white, and then they say a joke that's like really messed up and it's not funny. And then the person you're with is like, oh, why? The person that you're with that's white should ask you, or not ask you, but like, and if you say, oh, that's not right, that person has to say, why? Or listen, tell me why that offends you, so I understand. That's what they need to do. And that's how, you can make any kind of relationship. I mean, friendships work that way.
Yeah.
Interracially.
I just also think just don't be a dick. Like, just in general, just don't be a
Yes.
fucking dick. Because I've been on dates with a couple of white guys that was cool, but I've been on dates with a couple of white guys that was shitty. And I've been on dates with black guys that were cool. Been on dates with,
Absolutely.
So I feel like, people are just people.
One
But
of the best dates I ever had in my life was with a white man.
Yeah, I've had good dates.
To this day.
I've had good dates with white people and bad dates with black people. And
Yeah.
good dates with black people and bad dates with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't, if you again, if you're a black person dating a white person and you found something and it clicks,
Right.
don't say, well, yeah, black people are this or that. It's like, no, why you gotta bring yourself down? Don't do that.
Yeah. So, okay. So would you say that you really have to focus on the individual and not the larger scope sometimes when you're having conversations with your significant other? Instead, so they're not like you mentioned, it doesn't feel like categorized, or black people this or people of color that. Do you feel like you have to be more individualized? Like, oh, this person or that one thing, or
yeah, like I don't want to put people in like a group or anything like that, because again, we're all different. Like, I can't say, but it's a good question. Like, but you have to just walk like a fine line. You have to always, like, to me, communicate again. Like, we're not all the same, but it's also, again, it goes back to communication. You have to just shut up and listen for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand the world is different for us. I'm speaking to like white people dating black people. Like, you have to just listen, try to understand them. You know what I mean? And for me, just because, I'm dating a white person, I still love me. You know what I mean? I still love me. Some people, like who I am. Some people that date people outside, they don't love themselves.
yeah,
They don't love
that's
themselves.
very true. And like we said,
Yeah.
those black men sometimes who often will do that. And then also you've got some black women too who will date outside their race and break down black men. I think it's just a black issue. Like, the hatred we have towards each other because
Yeah.
it's not all our fault. Yeah,
freedom.
It's so
Yeah.
much. But I would love to humanize this situation, because we
Yeah.
keep saying white people, black people. Your significant other, like, what's you guys' story? How'd you meet? How long have you been together?
Well, we're almost a year.
Oh, that's nice.
So we met on Hinge. I was, scrolling
You
through.
was a little swipe and swipe.
Yeah. But the thing is, it wasn't a swipey swipe thing. It was like she found my profile, so
Oh.
I had to like match with her for us to
Right.
continue. You know what I mean? So
Also, she liked you first.
she liked me. Yeah, she found me on her feed, and then so there you go. Yeah, and that's how it happened. We started talking, and then I asked her out, and then here we are.
Period.
We love a good love story.
I do.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so what would you say, not to get too deep, but what would
Sure.
you say is just like your favorite thing about your significant other?
One, she has been around black people. She has black people within her family that married in her family, so she understands how to be around black people, and that's huge for me. 2, great sense of humor. Unbelievably
Nice.
great sense of humor. I love to laugh. And she's so smart. But she doesn't rub it in your face. And she's unapologetic about what she loves and what she doesn't love. You know what I mean? She doesn't, like, to me, years ago, I've gotten rid of the mantra of, like, a guilty pleasure. She doesn't have any of that. She loves what she loves.
Great.
And that's it. You know what I mean? And I think that's great.
Yeah.
All the people I've went on dates with, I've asked a simple question. What do you like? What kind of music do you like? What kind of movies do you like? What kind of TV shows do you like? Because those are things that I'm interested in. And they usually dodge it. Like, nah. It's like, love what you love.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's really hard. I guess, is it our generation that is shamed to discuss what they like?
Yes, because everybody has a fucking opinion. Everyone has an opinion, and
You're right.
so a lot of
You're
people
right.
are not living their truth. And I think social media brings that to light because you can create how you want people to see you. There's so many people not living their truth because they're living whatever they want other people to view them as. So yeah.
I don't like dating anymore because every time I date somebody, I tap into like podcast or interview mode, not by accident, just because it's just my nature.
Yeah, it is.
So they could be
That's a great point, Lamar.
They could be very like, bitch, I'm not on your show. I don't want to talk. Like I don't want
But
to.
this is good conversation, and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And
But you don't
have
want a
my presence for
conversation
free.
to be an interview. Because
That's
a conversation
true.
is not an interview.
But there's a
conversation-
difference, though. There's
There's
a
a
difference.
difference.
Yes, there is.
And I'm sorry. Like, okay, we know how to have this right now is not an interview. This is a conversation.
Yes.
So I already know if you and even Noah over there who's more quiet than us. If we sat down and had a one-on-one and we're asking someone something, it may be more in our nature to ask more of the questions like Lamark would, but he knows how to make it into a conversation. It's not like he's just sitting there grilling. It's that person's lack of communication or lack of emotional intelligence. Yeah, where they don't know how to answer those. They don't even know how to face themselves. Like you said, ask somebody what they like.
Maybe they're just constantly
what?
gaslighted or
Maybe.
something by people.
Maybe.
You know, like people just being told, like, no, what you like is stupid.
Yeah,
or whatever. Maybe they're
maybe.
just afraid. Maybe that's what it was.
I don't know, the gay world is disgusting. I mean, every world's disgusting. Let me not just say that because I don't need people to be dragging me. But you know what?
Don't drag us, please.
Anything else before we get into Lamarck's corner? You want to touch on?
He gave me my little tea. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get more.
Peter.
We're gonna dive in more.
And shout out to
Okay.
Peter's amazing girlfriend.
Yeah,
Oh,
shout out
okay.
to her. Did you want to say her name? Or you don't want to?
Sure, I'd say just her first name. Her name is Laura.
Oh, shout out to
Okay,
Laura.
hey Laura girl.
I know that's
I
right.
have to hit a button. Oh shit. Okay. I think that's pretty much. That's a good. I feel like that was a good intake on interracial relationships. All right, we're gonna dive into Lamarck's corner. So
Ooh.
where it gets juicy. Lamarck's corner, where I answer all the questions you guys send me, advice, shade, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Question number 1: How long until you could trust someone wholeheartedly?
In a relationship or just generally speaking?
I guess both, right? Why not?
Can you put a timeline on it?
Trust.
It's hard. Like,
What is that?
I think it just builds over time. I don't think there's an actual timeline for it.
Yeah.
I think it's just something that has to be built and earned over
Earned.
time. And it's a
Ooh,
continuous
like that.
process. Yeah. Because some people,
With
even family does it too. They always think that, it's a right and not a privilege.
Yeah.
No, like it has to be constantly earned.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just it's a continuous thing.
I agree with what Peter
Yeah,
said.
I like
It's
your
definitely
answer.
earned
Because
Because
Mine's gonna be shady.
hell
I like your
no.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah. And out the gate, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't automatically trust anyone. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there should always be that slight part to you that always keeps a little. Just never be surprised, nigga. Stay dangerous. Stay ready.
Stay dangerous is crazy.
Like, stay ready, man.
No, Chelsea.
All right, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm trying not to be a nigga.
Okay, question number 2. Please talk about a time when you had to make a tough decision, but it made life better for you.
Oh, this is easy. Well, it's actually hard, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Moving out of my parents' house.
Oh, yay.
Oh,
That's
shout out
a
to
big
that.
fucking
Yeah.
step.
Because you're sacrificing comfort for instability, insecurity. You don't know what's out there.
Yes.
Yep.
But it was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh,
Because I
love
learned
that.
about life. I learned about, okay, I need to like maybe budget loosely, I have to fill up my fridge. I have to either cook for myself or eat out. I have to make sure I'm clothed. I have to pay all my bills. You learn about bills and utilities and all that stuff when you get out of your parents' house. So I think that's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Yeah.
Chelsea, you want to go? Or you want me to go?
I'll go. So, y'all know I'm not from here. I'm from Miami. But I think a lot of people think I moved up here for fun. I did not. I literally just took a leap of faith and moved my ass up here. I quit my job. I sold my car. And I came because there was a lot of circumstances as to why. But I came up here and things just ended up working out. And I think from that, I always learned to just, I said this before, keep that mustard seed. I keep that goddamn mustard seed because you got to jump sometimes. You don't know what's out there. Just know that everything you've worked towards will hopefully land you on a cloud. That's how I look at it.
For me, I think it's just boundaries with people. I think before I was just always trying to people please all the time and making sure that I'm in everyone's good graces, but then I had to just set boundaries because then I realized like I'm out by myself and then like I'm gonna drown because I'm trying to please everybody else and not helping me.
Yep.
So that has been a good decision. It's been tough though because I really genuinely like to help everybody. I don't like to make anyone upset or mad, but you're gonna do that regardless, which I'm learning that it's just gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So it's just setting boundaries and learning that. Also, people come in your life for sometimes a season, and it's just shitty, but it happens.
Yeah.
So I've been losing a lot of different friends and men and family members even. Like it's tough, but you get through it and you push through and hey.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, Lamarck, because I have friends and sometimes like you're always the person reaching out to them. That gets exhausting.
It's very.
It's like you're working, you're an adult, you're I'm 30 now. Like I don't have time to, if you're not gonna want to hang out with me, try to make plans. I'm just not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't. It's too much.
30 where?
Yeah.
Okay.
You look really
great.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does someone ever try to play about your bedroom skills? I can't say no one. No. One person has. They said that they felt like I didn't put my all into it, which I did not because I didn't feel like you deserved it. So I did not. Who's next to go?
I think the couple of times I've had someone say something, it was out of like spite. It was out of like, you don't have access to these things anymore. So now you're trying to act like, but I know what it is because I know what it is. So I would say no because that doesn't matter to me.
I would say yes, but to myself, because like I'm my worst. I can be my worst critic sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I think, did I do something? Maybe I didn't do this right or whatever. But the one thing I learned about sex is, to me, it's a partnership thing. You have to both, turn each other on and just satisfy each other. It's not just you, because then it's just masturbation.
Yep.
Next question. If someone sent a nude and they reply with a laughing emoji, what should you do?
Block.
Yeah, I would say
That's
block.
really
You're just
rude.
getting blocked. Like,
Yeah.
That's
come on.
rude.
That's mean. Stop being fucking mean, bitches. All right. Next question. How important is it for your partner to contribute to your happiness?
What are you here for if you're not contributing to that? We should be contributing to each other's growth, happiness, everything. We're not each other's everything. We're our own individuals, but what we're creating together should always bring us some form of positivity. It's going to be push and pull. It's going to be imbalanced sometimes, but yeah, no, if there's no happiness in there, I ain't in it.
Yeah.
But they also shouldn't be your full happiness though. Like
Nope.
that's very important. Like,
Yep.
you should have happiness with yourself.
Yeah.
And then like they should grow to it. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Like, that's important.
Right.
Yeah.
Being your own person,
Right.
like having that for yourself. But when you do that, then you're able to create so many amazing things with someone else.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I also think that, like what Lamarck is saying 100%, it's because when I was like single, like I was happy. Like I learned how to be happy by myself. I know how to have, I would go to concerts by myself, even now, like I go record digging by myself. I know how to have fun by myself, but like if you're coming to my life in a romantic way, you have to aid and abet in the happiness. If you're not contributing, if you're not evolving like Chelsea was saying, then
there's
get
no
out.
point. Life is too short.
Exactly.
Hurry
100%.
Last question. Worst celebrity encounter?
Oh, damn. I like her music, so I don't want to say it. You know what? Everybody has spoken about this. Okay, Summer Walker. So there was a R&B fest that I was attending / kind of working a little bit, whatever. Shout out to Chachi. She got me in there. And I mean, I met so many dope people. I got to meet Aaron Ray. He was amazing. I chopped it up with Denzel Curry. He was amazing. And the show was very unorganized, but this is when Summer Walker first started performing. And I'm talking, it was bad. I mean, I've never seen a performance that bad in my life. And I told myself, I was like, I love her music and I'm here to support whatever she does, but I will never see her perform ever again. So when she got big and everybody got to see for themselves, like, you know, so I'm happy she's growing in that lane and putting in the work, because I talk about disappointment. But shout out to Summer. Love you, girl. Love that pen. All right. Keep it rocking.
Peter?
I never really have any encounters with, like, you know, celebrities, but, like, you know, like I said earlier today, like, I've had artists that I love to listen to, you know, agree to come on my show, and then either no show, or then they'll, I'll give you a good example. So last year, there's an artist I love. I won't say their name.
I'm about to say you want to drop a name.
Uh-oh.
Media training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally messy.
I'm not gonna say their
because
name.
maybe they'll see it and they'll double back.
Yeah. So I, you know, I set up an interview with them. It's not the first time they've been on the show too. So, like, I thought it was gonna be so easy. I'm on the Zoom, and we agreed to date and time and everything. I followed up. I confirmed. I'm sitting in the Zoom. It's like 2 p.m. Then it's like, usually I give like a 10-minute grace period, right? So after like 2:15-ish, I hear nothing. So I send a follow email. What's going on? I get a note saying, well, you know, I had family come over, and I just kind of forgot. I'm like, no, you didn't forget. You didn't forget. This is totally disrespectful, because, like, yes, I'm not a major platform, but I don't deserve that.
Yeah.
It's my time.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's my time. Your time is important.
That's really, you know, that was kind of whack to me, that, because there's not a lot of people that are out interviewing this particular artist too. So it's like, why are you doing this? Because if you were booked for a show and you're not going to forget that. Yes, yeah. I'm not, you know, a superstar or whatever, or, you know, I'm not a major promoter for a festival. It's like, would you do that? You know, that's disrespectful.
It doesn't matter how big or how little you are. You treat everybody with the same respect and the same kindness. Everybody's time is important. Yeah. And you don't know where somebody you meet now is going to be later. You don't know who you're... There are so many situations in life, and life is funny like that. You think you're shitting on somebody now? Watch them in a couple years or whatever time. You are probably going to regret treating that person negatively. You know what I mean?
They don't know who I know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know I don't know some promoter at, you know, Lollapalooza or whatever, and they ask me, what do you think of this artist? Well, this person blatantly didn't show up, or they forgot, so I don't really trust them to show up for this gig. You don't know who I know, so treat people the same. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's it.
Blood clot respect.
I have several, but I'm not going to name.
Can you give us one? Give us your worst one. Give us your worst one.
I can't say the worst one because it's to the radio, and I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
But you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I think the one we shared together was Charlie Puth. Because that was tough. He, like, kicked us out of his whole room, and we had to, like, figure this shit out. We were working at a concert together for Charlie Puth, and
you know, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's how irrelevant.
We didn't have, like, places to put our stuff, so they had us like in a they had us put our stuff in, like, the top room, because it was like 10, like it was like 15 of us.
Yeah. And
Charlie Puth wanted a bigger dressing room, so they kicked all of us out. He
told us go down there. He's going up, and then we can't go the same way because he doesn't want to be disturbed.
Yeah.
So you got to go this way. He's coming up this way.
Yeah, it was a lot. So.
And we're like, this has like one song. Who is he?
We didn't have, you know, where to put our stuff, so it was just kind of shitty. So street team.
Some people just need to be brought down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, so I never met him personally, but it was just kind of
that interaction alone. Maybe it could have been his team.
Could have been just
sometimes
his team.
The people's team are worse than they are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Peter, we're gonna get into your business.
Sure.
So we talked about your love life.
Yeah.
But the freakiest thing you ever done.
Freakiest thing I ever done.
I'll
tell you. It was with a previous lover. We had sex in my car that I had at the time.
Nice.
Okay.
And it's I didn't like it.
Car sex is hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
I didn't like it. I felt weird.
It's a way to master it.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just do it on a bed or something. Get a hotel room or something. Yeah. I can't. It was too much.
Peter, you're so sweet.
Yeah, I was
so
wholesome.
When I think of him, he's so damn wholesome. Like whenever I see you like watch my stuff, I'm like, Peter, watch my stuff. Wow, damn, what was I doing? Like, was I doing something?
Oh no, don't do that.
So your favorite position?
I have a rotation.
Oh,
I think missionary is so underrated.
It is. It's a great love-making position.
It's great. That, and I love cowgirl.
Okay.
Reverse cowgirl, doggy style. These are great.
Yeah.
They're all great.
Okay.
This is a Virgo man, people. We
Your
love it.
freak number 1 to 10 and why?
I wouldn't consider myself a freak.
Mhm.
Like I'm a lover. I'm very romantic, but I guess what you define freak, I like all that peeing on people and all that stuff, the whips and
He must have
chains,
watched other seasons.
BDSM, all that stuff. That ain't me. You know, that ain't me. I'm not filming anything or anything.
Not even for your own personal.
No.
Oh wow.
I can't do that. It's between me and whoever I'm with. I can't.
Okay.
So I don't think I am a
Okay.
freak. You know, I love, again, I'm sexual, but I'm not
Right.
freaky. No disrespect to all the freaks out there. You know, you
Okay.
probably have some freak listeners. So
I'm sure.
respect to them. Respect to them. Live your life. Enjoy yourselves. But I can't partake in all that
I
stuff.
love it. Okay. So it's not giving just plain vanilla.
It's giving FR.
Not vanilla.
It's giving
Yeah.
FR.
He's mixing some
FR
caramel
freak.
and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not plain guy. You're just a little
Yeah, just
splat.
a little cinnamon on the coffee. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, a little cinnamon.
We like
yeah.
that. We like that. We need that.
Do you prefer raw or condom?
Well, if you want to be safe, if you're just getting started with someone, you got to use the condom. You gotta.
Chelsea.
What's that about?
You have to. But I will say this: condoms are getting expensive these days. But still,
what I'm
still,
I
but
don't know the price.
once you get comfortable with someone, both of you need to get tested.
Yeah, get
There's
tested, y'all.
just the undisputed fact. You have to do that. Once you do that, enjoy yourselves. But like when you're starting out and you're not that serious yet, condoms, strap up. That's it.
For my nasty people listening, I know you're not going to use the condom. Just keep it
People.
every 3 months. Just get to the clinic. Just run to the clinic every 3 months. All right, Peter. Any questions you have for us before we wrap up? And if you don't have any questions, it's fine.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah.
What kind of guests? Because I know you guys, you run the gamut of people. Is there any like people who engage in certain things? Because I know you had conservatives on here and all this other stuff.
We did.
Is there any kind of people that you just like, hell no, you will not be on this show? Or do you, when you book people, do you have to have some sort of following? Because if that's true, I'm not in that category. So.
No.
It's okay. So
I think anybody who's disrespectful, homophobic, like anybody who's just not accepting, we don't bring those
yeah, I
people
can't
on
really
here.
do homophobic because
Not at all.
It's going to be a fight. But
Yeah. Well, that one homie you had in here, I was listening,
Lou,
and he was saying some things. I'm just like, what? Lamark is like right there.
but the thing is with Lou, I knew Lou because he was on the show before
Mhm.
previously, and he had different things. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
Lou was respectful.
He was
Yeah, he was
respectful.
respectful.
Okay.
And they were cool. Like I personally like my racists and my homophobes, racist and homophobic. Like let me know how you feel, and I'll let you know how I feel, and we keep pushing. Like it's
Right.
not going to be no disrespectful things because I call the cops, so I don't do that. And I feel like at the end of the day, like we can respect each other's opinions and
Yeah.
disagree.
Yeah. Well, I have a
Agree,
question for
disagree.
Chelsea.
Okay.
So, as a DJ,
Mhm.
how are you discovering music now? Are you in any pools? Are you going out to the clubs and stuff like that?
So I did join a DJ pool, but I stopped paying for it because I was like, this is not helpful. Honestly, I am a self-discovery kind of girl. I'm constantly listening to music. Like it's innate. Like it's a wake up, go to bed kind of thing. So I'm always finding new tunes. So when I find something I like, or I could be listening to something else and something just hits me like, oh, that would sound good with that, or that would transition really good into that, and I write it down in my phone, or I just save it. And then I go back and I just go and I just build my own crates. Like I download and do everything on my own.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also kind of like a pride thing in a way. Like I built my own. I didn't ask anybody for their deck,
Yeah.
Even though I would like some help with my deck. Oh, thank you. But yeah, that's what I do. It's a lot of self-discovery. Sometimes friends put me on, like if a friend is playing a song and I like it, I'm like, oh, what song is that? Or whatever. But yeah, I just feel like constantly just listening to music all day
Yeah.
is really how I do it.
It's a lot of new music coming out this year.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of new music.
It is. And do you want to get real quick into something exciting that just happened?
I was going to save it for like the next.
The next one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
We
save
can-
that. We'll
yeah,
save
yeah.
that.
I'll be listening.
But before I just want to answer your question about the whole bringing guests, because I don't think we're like super clear on that. It doesn't matter about your following. Like you can have 1 million, or you can have like 10. I think just have an interesting story to tell, and just not like I hate when people say, "I just want to come on the show," and I'm just like, "Well, why?" And then it's just crickets.
But
and then
you
like the
have to
answer they
offer.
give is just very, you know.
You see, that's what makes you guys stand out, I think, is when you try to get me on the show, you ask, oh, is there anything you want to talk about? So, like, it's almost like you have to bring something to the table. And I think that's really, really cool. Because for me, when I want to interview people, like, it's because, oh, they have an album coming out, or they have something out, a new book or something. But you guys like, okay, what do you want to talk about? Bring something to the table.
Yeah.
I love that. I
It
think
starts
it's
with
really good.
interest with us first, for sure.
Oh,
Like he'll text me
100%.
like, "Oh, this person, look at this. Like they're so interesting. They agreed to come." Or I'll send him something like, "Oh, do you think this is interesting? Like, do you think we should go this direction?" So yeah, it really is just about people being themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like, you know, on my like list of like people that I really like, Normani could do. At this point, if Normani decides to walk her ass, the show is Normani's show. At that point, I don't give a fuck like what happens. But like
Respect.
that's just like a different, you know, I'm biased with that one. But you know, for the most part, I think it's just have a story. A lot of people usually get nervous when they come here.
Yeah.
We want to just have an open book. I mean, I think they watch past shows and think like they were something that we're not. Like I'm not that shady. We like to have good repertoire, but we're not. Like it's a pretty cool environment.
It is a very cool environment.
Come
Yeah.
as you are.
Yeah.
That's how we are. We want you to be yourself. That's the whole kicker.
Right.
Is you're yourself.
Yeah.
So
then we can get into your business.
exactly, because we're gonna be ourselves.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
like, what's tea?
Oh,
Peter,
man,
it's been a
yes.
pleasure.
It's been so
Oh, man.
awesome. It's so
I
great
love
to
this
see
show.
you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you guys. I'm a fan. I was listening on the way here, and I'm gonna listen on my way home.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So I love what you guys are doing. Can I plug my stuff?
Yeah, I was about to say, please let people know
Absolutely.
all
Okay,
your
sure.
things.
All right. So My Little Underground. If you love, creatives or mostly music, you want to discover some people, listen. However you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, even iHeart too. And if you love pro wrestling, I do with my brother, the Wrestling Caucus. You can listen again anywhere podcasts are available too. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Please keep pushing because you're making a lot of
Thank
dope
you.
We love
content.
it. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Peter.
Same to you guys.
Whenever
Clap
it gets
up for
difficult,
Peter.
please text me. I've been there.
You got
so,
it.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you
all here
guys.
for each other.
Of course.
Yes, clap it up for Peter, everybody. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have my button ready. But there we go. There we go. On that
All
note,
right.
guys, we're
Until
out.
next time. Peace.
Later.